Hello guys and girls, welcome to my weekly roundup for this week. As you can probably hear, I've got a little bit of congestion. I'm not feeling too great, so I'm going to try and keep this one short, possibly also because you can't actually hear me, so yeah, I'll keep it very brief. I'm actually here in Greenwich today. I'm on my travels, so behind me you can actually see the Royal Naval College. Very beautiful building, something I would love to convert commercially. Something tells me, being a World Heritage Site, that I may never get the chance to convert this building, but a beautiful building nonetheless. If you ever get a chance to get down to Greenwich, definitely go have a look at it. I'm sure Oliver, you've definitely seen this building a few times. It was actually built in 1696 and was home to, or was actually a hospital for seamen. That sounds really wrong, but for injured seamen back in the day, and then it was later converted into a marine naval college. So really beautiful place, so hope you enjoy it today. In terms of what I've been up to this week, really interesting week for you, sir, and myself, and essentially I've been on the travels up to the northeast of England, and in northeast of England been speaking with a lot of local councils, with local housing authorities, essentially trying to set up strategic partnerships with USA moving forward for developments. So what that means is, if trying to get hold of a local housing authority who wants to partner with us and providing social housing requirements to them for every development. Now the initial conversations with one local housing authority went really well. They agreed in principle to take up to 20% of our housing stock, so for every development, so as long as we meet certain criteria, of course, but yeah, to help support aspirational renters. Now, if you're not sure what aspirational renters are, it's a new substream of local housing. You've got your standard social housing, but within that there is a big need, or there's a big known that there's a lot of people who don't just want the normal bog standard housing or council housing. They want something a little bit more, and they're willing to pay for that with a housing benefit. And this is something if you haven't thought about, is definitely something you guys should consider if you're doing development, is trying to broach this topic with local housing authorities and ask them the question: do they have aspirational renters? What's their quota? And would they be interested in working with you? So if you get 20% of your units essentially sold before you even complete, that's a fantastic weight off your mind. And also with a local housing authority, because essentially government money, you can actually convert or capitalise that. I mean, I'll give you an example. The kind of lease deal I would do with a local housing authority would be for 60 years. That's 60 years of guaranteed income coming in. Now that can be capitalised on a commercial mortgage for 25 years. And so you can actually raise finance off the back of that, which you could use for your own projects, for funding the next deal, whatever you want it to be. So there's a huge commercial commercial value attached to that. So if you haven't already done it and you're a developer, definitely get out to your local housing authorities and ask them about potential strategic partnerships. I think it's something really interesting to do. On top of that, we met with a local council for an area that we're trying to develop in right now. Really positive conversations, looking to help them with regeneration in their areas. And we're saying, how can USA help them? What is it we can do to help serve? Remember guys, whatever you do, always try and remember it's all about serving and helping other people. If you come with an open mind like that, people will, they'll love that, and they'll want to naturally work with you. So try and always come with that point of serving. And we spoke to the council, and actually, we told them about what we're doing in the area, and they actually then opened up a potential site for us to go in and do a viability assessment, which could potentially lead to a development further down the line. Now this is for 110 units and a hotel. Now obviously hotels is something I might need to learn about, but I don't know how to set up a hotel, but I've got plenty of people in my network who do know how to do that. And never get scared of trying to take on these and saying yes, because you look out and reach out to the people in your network, you will find those people able to do it. So it's a good reminder, because when they asked me to do that, my initial concern in the meeting, or my thought in the meeting was, holy shit, what the hell, I don't know how to put a hotel on a site. But speaking to my mentors and the people within my circle, no problem. We talked away through how to do that. So really exciting times for you, sir. You know, maybe another 100+ units coming our way, we never know, but it's always good to have that kind of in the pipeline. In addition to that, spoke to our planning consultants on one of the projects up in the northeast that we're looking at. Unfortunately, I still don't have all the details to release, which is what I wanted to do. That kind of leads into what hasn't gone well this week. You know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think I spoke to you guys. I said, look, we're hoping to get this big deal over the line, but like any big deal, subject to solicitors, there's a lot of backwards and forwards, and we're still in the backwards and forwards game. Managed to get a little bit of progress, but it feels like I'm walking like this, 3 steps forward and then like 15 steps backward. Check I don't fall over there. But it's a little bit frustrating, but you just kind of got to tackle what's in front of you, and that's what we're doing right now. Hopefully in the next week or two we can get that over the line, the contract signed, and then we can get into the whole exciting, you know, development stage, seeing what's going on with you know, with the planning and all of that kind of fun stuff. So please stick around. I guess a good learning point from that is never count your chickens before they're hatched. You know, I'm still kind of wary that this could fall over at any point, and sometimes you can get ahead of yourself, so it's always good trying to ground yourself. When I spoke to the agent actually not too long ago, about an hour ago, and I did very poorly at hiding my frustrations on the phone, which you could tell, and she got a little bit agitated, and it just shows you, I mean, like, I didn't need to do that. I could have reined myself in. Sometimes it's hard not to vent these things, but you've got to kind of see it from their perspective. They're just trying to do the due diligence for their clients, and when you see it from that perspective, it makes things a whole lot easier. And essentially, okay, what's another week, 2 weeks at the end of the day? It's, you know, it's not really the worst thing in the world. So try and have a little bit of patience. If you're like me, you probably don't. So yeah, I would also make that kind of my tip of the week. You know, try and have that little bit of patience. Really interesting thing actually, last week you might have seen the video I did at Entrepreneur Summit in London with Roger Hamilton. Now, Roger Hamilton's one of my mentors, and I'm not plugging him for any financial gain here, but if you guys haven't checked out, go and have a look at his wealth dynamics test, because it's something that really changed things for myself and for my business. And essentially it looks at all the different elements that make you you, and make you an entrepreneur, and it categorizes you into 4 different elements and 1 type of entrepreneur. And this kind of characteristic really helps shape all your decisions in your business, along with people who you work with. And essentially, imagine it like a stool. You are one part of a stool, you are one leg of a stool, and you normally have, with the wealth dynamics, you have 2 complementary characters who work well with you, and they then form the other 2 legs. Now imagine if you only by yourself with 1 leg, that stool's going to fall over. If you've got 2 legs, yeah, you're all right. You might make it a little bit longer depending on how many beers you've had. If you've got 3 legs, that then becomes a super, well, it should be this way, then becomes a super stable base to work with from a business. And you know, it's took me a while to kind of get my head around that philosophy, but go and check out the wealth dynamics, go do the wealth dynamics profile test and find out who is complementary to you and your team. If you're having problems in your team where you think, well, why isn't this person doing what I'm asking them? Chances are it's because it's not in their nature. And by understanding that, you can then assign the right type of work to them, and it will help get that progress and momentum within your business a lot more quicker. Something which I wish I'd kind of picked up on more than 6 months ago. So that would be another tip. Go and do that. Go and at least check it out. I think there's a free test you can do online, which is just as good. So yeah, have a look at that. In terms of what I'm getting up to over the next week, I will also try and visit some other nice locations for you. But essentially, what I'm working on now is a pipeline. I'm also trying to put a little bit more energy on getting the USA Ireland division set up. So I had the co-founder of Ireland over with me this week when we were traveling through the northeast, so he could kind of see what goes on the UK side of the business. Got a very interesting loan back going on with my SaaS. So as you know, I'm quite big into the SaaS side of things, and we're looking to use a loan back from the SaaS to help purchase this first commercial conversion. Now I'm doing a loan back as we speak, and so I will be very happy to share that within my next blog. So make sure you kind of tune in and check on the website usa.co.uk for the blog. So that's going on, which is quite exciting. I've never done a loan back before, so let's see what happens there. And then obviously trying to get this deal over the line and then building the pipeline. So I'm actually going up to Aberdeen next week. We're looking at a potential 80 unit conversion. A really, really beautiful building. Not too dissimilar to this. Definitely not a UNESCO World Heritage Site, I'm sure. I know it's in Aberdeen, so there's no surprise about that. But yeah, looking forward to having a look at that, trying to build and create the pipeline a little bit more. And I will also be having a couple of beers. I think I'm going to need them because I've got my gran and my mum visiting in London, which yeah, that's always a tough weekend. But if I survive that, I will let you guys know next week. In terms of everything else, thank you very much for listening. Hope you have a great weekend. Michael Locke, thank you for watching the video. Hope you guys have a great weekend out there. Charlie, thanks very much for your comments as well. Take care and enjoy. Bye bye.